All right, gentlemen. Last week, we had the wonderful events of a month of time where you got to indulge in various interests that you so desired. Yonovan spent much of it in the forge, in the smithy, in the workshop, while Ryu and Kleok adventured about, doing various things. Kleok was frustrated that by
Found
numerous
absolutely nothing
turns...
useful.
Yeah. You found a little bit, just not a lot.
I know exactly everything about Helm.
Hmm.
As in the deity.
Okay.
And it's a chair. The deity's not a chair. But the Helm I'm looking for is a special item. But
You
still have
did.
no idea how it works.
That is true.
So are deities worshipped among the spheres?
You don't know.
Well, no, he knows everything about Helm, so he knows.
Helms. He was looking for Helms and found out about Helm.
Yes, I know. So
He's
is
asking
Helm
if I.
worshipped
He's
elsewhere?
asking if I know that if Helm is actually worshipped out here,
No.
or whether it's just a story.
Yeah, they're worshipped within spheres, and only certain spheres. And the current one, no, he's not.
Huh. That's odd that a god could have his power limited.
But I wouldn't have actually come back and told you guys I found out all about Helm. Because that would be embarrassing.
Yeah.
He was having the roles Yonovan first had during combats for his downtime activities.
I rolled a nat 1 in the library. I think I told you that.
Yeah.
The dice were not kind to him last week. I legitimately feel bad for him. It was rough.
Then again, my ability to find things is with my poor intelligence and charisma scores and lack of skills in said things. Yeah.
Yeah. But Ryu had a little bit of discoveries and learned that she can kind of enjoy carpentry as well as masonry. So she's actually got some experience in carpentry and is on her way to getting proficiency in carpentry.
Okay. Well, I
And she wants all
studied
of our money.
a spell for gluing your feet to any surface for as long as you want to.
That's what you spent your month learning about or experimenting with?
Yeah, spider climb.
Okay.
Only it makes a sucking noise when you touch anything.
So they're actually, instead of spider climb, it's suction cup climb.
Yeah.
So it's...
Uh-huh.
All right. That's part of the fun of your system, is that it would allow for more flavorful spell options.
Yep.
All right. Anything else you do during that month, or is that it?
I just spent some time in navigating a ship. I want to, if I can have any more time, to visit more with the captain on how to navigate.
Piloting or navigating? Those are two different skills. There's astral...
What did I do? Piloting.
When you were on the ship, you were actually piloting the ship. So that would be that would be working towards proficiency in vehicle spell jamming?
Yes, I am interested in this.
Okay. There is also astral navigation, which allows you to use navigational tools for doing interstellar. So you need both to ensure you're getting around. One is for flying the ship, one is for charting a path.
Huh, that's interesting.
What you're working on is being able to actually fly the ship.
Well, I think, one at a time, but charting a path could be fun. At least I can make sense of all those maps on the world.
Yeah, and that's why I'm just making it clear that the difference between the two so that I can make sure I know what you're going for and going down the road. Anyone else who seeks any can state those.
So the one is making the ship go where you want the ship to go, and the other one is knowing where the ship should go?
One is basically piloting the ship, driving the ship. And one is understanding how you can get from one section of this, galaxy to another. Basically plotting between spheres, understanding how currents flow, understanding things like that. So
You
basically...
mean highways aren't clearly marked?
Yeah, no. Basically, it's very close to cartography, making of maps, but it's on the galactic scale. And since it kind of is that and kind of is navigation, I figured calling it something like, astral, or, yeah. Solar navigation or something like that. I guess solar is not very accurate either. But I didn't see an existing one, so I'm coming up with a term for it, and it's kind of a working term.
You can just call it astrology.
That works. Astrology.
Astronomy. Astronomy.
You sure?
Astrology is something else.
You don't want astrology?
Astrology is giving you, it's making, horoscopes and stuff.
Well, in this case, the two would be kind of blended, so they're both study of the stars. But yes, astronomy would be closer than astrology.
Are there any kind of roles to work on proficiency? You had us roll before.
Yes. What we need to do is have you determine which route you're going to acquire that skill training from.
Okay, sure. I would naturally, first I would go to the captain and ask if he could train me on anything like that.
Okay. He gives you some more guideline and pointers. Nothing about actually controlling a helm, but details about how the helm connects the person to the ship and allows them to move the ship around very similarly to their body. So after spending some time with him, you have another point towards that. That doesn't take the full month, but he doesn't have any other... He says he himself can't teach you any more on it, as he doesn't have the experience with the helm, as that's not his... helms that could use his abilities are not common.
Oh. Okay. So I asked him, so where can I go to learn more?
Well, if ours was available, I'd suggest that, but he's indisposed, so I would suggest seeking a pilot on another ship. Sometimes they're the captain of the ship, sometimes not. Often they are, since, the ship doesn't go anywhere without them. They usually have more than one. So it's a matter of asking about and finding someone who has the time and willingness to assist you.
Well, there's a shipyard nearby.
We are parked in it, so yes.
Maybe I can take a look around.
Good luck with that.
All right, thank you.
Indeed.
Yeah. How does this thing roll? It's not rolling.
R. Or you have to fling it really hard. There you go. You actually roll it, and it gives you a 20. That's kind of funny.
That is funny. That's a 22.
Jealous.
All right.
It wounds my soul.
There is a similar ship at dock the day that you're going around. It's a ship that looks kind of like a dragon that you saw last time you guys were here.
Oh, yeah.
And quite a few of them are actually in one of the taverns right on the dock, drinking and relaxing. And you see a couple of them more solemnly at a table, just playing cards.
I'll go up to them.
They seem less sailor type than some of the others, and as you approach, they're like, "Greetings, sir. Can I help you?"
Yeah, I've been sailing for a few months on a Spelljammer ship, and I'm looking for someone who can teach me how to drive it.
Ah, you're seeking to understand the helms and how they're used.
Yeah, that.
Well, I don't think any of us can help you since we all follow a different style helm than what most people use. However, the gentleman over there pilots his own ship.
Oh.
I need to step away for just a minute, and I'll be right back, and we'll pick up there. While you go talk to the individual with the big feathery hat.
And you with the big feathery hat. The Men in Tights reference, I think.
Alas, Cleonk is not there.
I'm thinking to myself here, the captain has said he can't really help me because he uses a special kind of helm. These guys have said they can't really help me because they use a special kind of helm. The world is a weird place. I didn't even know there were multiple kinds of helm. And what is a helm? I don't even know that either.
Maybe they're both the
But
same.
I can use it. And that'll work. Maybe. I mean, someone can hand you a gun and teach you how to use a gun, but you don't have to know what a gun is.
How much did Cookie know about the actual sailing ships?
Oh gosh, nothing. I had land vehicles, but not sailing vehicles.
Because the term helm on
Yeah,
a
it's
ship
right.
generally kind of just means the
How
steering
you
wheel.
steer it, right? Fair enough. I've eaten enough food, John. I've eaten enough food. Dang it. Easy to get snacky.
I think I'm going to grab me a glass of orange juice. I'll be right back.
might be worth asking the strange helm people what's different about theirs, in case it might be the same as our strange helm.
Yeah, but you don't know that. And if we're going to metagame, I'm going to say that, well, the reason the captain told me he couldn't help me is that I can't use it. Or something.
All I know is I don't want to be on the helm that we left on the ship we destroyed.
The one that requires you to be dead?
The one that sucks your life, yeah.
That's a good choice.
That's my knowledge of helms, so I really don't want to know anything more about our helm.
Fair enough.
All right, gentlemen. Sorry about that. Where were we? Oh yeah, you're going to the feathery hat.
Yeah.
Did I miss anything in the meantime? Was there any decisions or thoughts you guys had?
Not really.
Okay.
We had some suggestions that were off camera, so to speak.
Okay. So I guess I'll have to watch it then.
No, I mean, as in, he really can't say it to me because we're not together.
Yeah.
So, doesn't matter.
Hawa?
Yeah, I don't know where I'm located versus him.
You'd be in the workshop. This is that month that we covered last week.
Okay. Okay.
Cookie, you approach the guy with the big hat, and he's just sitting there, enjoying his drink, kicked back, relaxing.
Hello, friend.
Doesn't seem to really acknowledge you're there. It's like, how can I help you?
I talked to those gentlemen over there, and they said, you might be able to help me learn how to use a helm.
Now, why would I do that? Help more people clog up my skies?
Oh, sir, it was so much fun to watch them drive the open sky. You must really love it out there.
Indeed.
I just wanna,
A ship means freedom.
man. If you have a price, I'll pay it. I just want to learn more about this stuff.
To what end?
Well, we've been flying around just doing some work here and there, whatever we find on the billboards. We beat a ship, well, it said it was a space monster, but I think it was just a undead spaceship monster. Weird.
Now you're a silly feller. That makes absolutely no sense. But it sounds fun.
Yeah, fun until it's trying to rip your ship apart. That's why we've been dry docked for the last month here.
That sounds troubling. Can't be too bad if it's only taken a month to repair, though.
Really? Huh. I guess I know nothing about ships, sir.
Well, if you ever decide you want to learn more, my ship is a smaller vessel. It's a trade vessel. But I take on crew every once in a while and we fly about.
Wait a second, Nate. Are, I would be leaving the party. That sounds weird. So tell me
Cookie has
mechanically
gone AWOL.
what this means, because I don't understand. Obviously, if I sign up, I'm in for however much of a journey they plan to do.
Correct?
And I might never be in port at the same time they'd be at port, or I'd miss their next journey out.
Correct. You have options to consider. Not all of them are immediately necessarily present in your thoughts. He didn't exactly turn you down, but he didn't necessarily say that he agreed completely with what you were saying. So, it is now in your court as to how to proceed or what to say at this point.
Thought that was in that one first. I don't know what you're trying to decide with a dice roll.
Oh, the secret of flipping a coin is not what the coin says, but what you want it to say.
Heads I win, tails you lose.
Cookie's mind is a little bit blown. Thank you, sir. I'll have to think about that.
If it helps you, John, I can think of 3 ways this can proceed.
Yeah?
4 ways. It's up to you to determine them and plot that course. Of which of them?
Ooh, can I guess?
Sure.
Way 1, you try and convince the other party members to go with you, and we just adventure on a new ship. Consequences be damned for abandoning the other ship. Second choice is Cookie goes by himself, and thus rolls a new character, because I really doubt that we're going to follow Cookie's adventures, or otherwise find some way to, as part of a really long downtime. Cookie leaves.
Okay, that was 2 options from what I hear.
It is 2 options.
You've thus far come up with half as many as me.
Well, those are the 2 obvious.
Yes, but as I was trying to indicate to him, obvious isn't always best.
Well,
or
those
most
aren't
preferred.
the only choices. He might still train me. Like I asked.
Option 3 is we steal a ship.
No. I'm really trying to weigh how much Cookie is affiliated with the rest of the crew. The party, really, not the crew.
Option 3 is the beginning of option 2, but the captain isn't necessarily happy about losing you, and thus we chase after you. That's not really an option. That's kind of a consequence.
All choices have consequences.
I just said some potential outcome for option 2. So it's not really
Correct.
different than option 2.
Do we need to pause your stuff for a little bit, Cookie, and come back?
Oh, of course. Option 3 is that Cookie decides to travel with us. decline the offer and travel with us.
I think, okay, so coming back to it, Cookie doesn't really want to be parted with his crew, although he's not overly attached to the captain. Or Ryu, because Ryu is not easy to attach to. But definitely Yonovan and Kleok. So I would ask the cap this. It's fine. Tell me about this captain. You said he's kind of carefree. Is he young or old or?
He seems kind of middle-aged, but fairly young. Probably 20s, 30s. Late
Surprise,
20s, early
he's an
30s.
elephant. Surprise, he's an elephant.
Whatever. I would ask him if he had room for other crew members on his journeys, or if he's looking for more or not.
I usually cycle crew out every once in a while. Keeps things fresh and exciting.
Okay.
Jimmy rigged my helm, so, mutiny isn't a possibility, so I'm less worried than a lot of other captains.
That sounds kind of funny, although...
Well, if they understand that mutiny means they get stranded in space, they tend to not be concerned with mutiny. Even if they disagree.
I don't imagine my current captain would really want to leave his ship until his repairs are finished. And I don't even know how particularly attached he is to us. He rescued us, and he's been giving us a job ever since. We take the jobs that come. But I'd hate to be parted with my fellow rescuees. Let me go talk with him and see if, bring him here, see if you're interested in a package deal.
Options are options.
All right. Good day to you. Be back.
Indeed.
Cookie goes back to the ship and tries to drum up Yonovan and Kleok and Ryu. Talon, if you can find him.
Talon you can find. He's kind of just working on the ship. Doing things there. Sometimes hitting one of the taverns nearby. Yonovan's in the workshop, so he's easy to find. Kleok, you see storming back to the ship every so often, so you're able to find him. Ryu, on the other hand, seems to be missing.
Why am I not surprised by that statement?
Well, you actually remember seeing her working with the individual up in the
Right.
shipyard on
Like missing,
doing
but,
carpentry. So,
out of the office.
you what?
Not missing, just kind of out of the office.
Yeah, missing meaning you're not on the ship. You're elsewhere, because you spent a lot of time with that carpenter getting your skills.
Right.
Okay. So I go have a chat with my friends. It's like, so I'm trying to learn more about how these helms work, and I'd like to maybe drive the ship a little bit. Because it was pretty fun to, fun and terrifying, exhilarating, whatever, to go against that space monster. Found a guy who could train me, but he seemed to imply that the option for training was to go on a mission with him. And I didn't want to just leave you all behind. I know it's going to take some time for this repair work to finish. Would you like to come with?
Kleok narrows his eyes. And asks what our current captain would think about this arrangement.
I don't know.
I'm not sure he's willing to.
He doesn't own me.
That's true.
I mean, he might not take me back, and that would be a bummer. But I'm pretty sure with what I have now, I can hitch a ride back home to Faerun wherever I need to. So why not learn how to drive the stars? To the stars. Sounds more poetic that way, though. Well, hey, if you don't want to come, that's fine. I may not return after all. Every mission we've been on has been dangerous.
What kind of ship was he on?
He said it was smaller. I didn't ask him exactly the ship he was on. Sorry.
I think he told you what type of ship it was, but don't quote me on it. Or what he said he did.
Not a whole lot.
Well, he said he had a smaller ship and he tended to cycle crew often. So he seemed open to taking more, but he didn't seem desperate for anything. I kind of imagine the captain himself might be cycling some crew, and I don't know if he's going to keep the crew that were firing those ballistas or not. Well, maybe he will. He's still got the ballistas.
Donovan, do you speak up at all with this discussion with Cookie?
Did he come in my workshop? Did he breed a bunch of people in my workshop, or is
He came down to get
Drag
you
me out?
and get Cleok
Okay.
and Talon. And he
Huh.
tried to find Ryu, but was not able to on the ship.
Yeah, typical. Um,
Cleok imagines something about, does the ship have a workshop?
yeah, that's about where I was going with that.
I really don't know. Man, I don't know the right questions to ask. I'm sorry.
I mean, I need my forge, and I can keep doing whatever.
Can I assume that we're in some sort of, that this is a private conversation?
I would
Or
assume
we
you
just-
guys would probably go to the tavern on the dock or shut yourselves in his workshop or something like that.
Yeah.
I kind of assumed you wouldn't just do it out in the open.
Okay. Well, I'm not particularly fond of the ship or the captain. It has been rather profitable to be members of this ship.
And fairly stable.
Yeah.
I know that certainly learning how to helm a ship would be of great knowledge to us, but if all we're making is, you know, our standard wages on the ship, not really looking out, just jobs that he's picking, and it's just, escorting, and we're just getting paid, the standard sum. I don't know if it advances us. I don't know what kind of work is he doing. I could stand for less space monsters.
I don't know. You know, you raise a point. On on the ship, the captain has kind of let us pick a mission.
Out of character, I would almost say that any job we do for him would be just like picking a mission. It's just our mission is that guy. And we might not have a lot of knowledge up front as to what he's wanting us to do.
Well,
Is that a fair assessment?
Potentially.
well, do you want to see what sailing under a different captain is like? You might get a different appreciation for the captain that way.
How much have I particularly I know the crew has recently, cycled because of the new heavy weaponry. And I know that the new crew is more skilled and such. Um, do I know if the old crew was like fired? Did they just leave of their own volition?
They were just basically like, released. Crew is only part of a ship as long as the paycheck's there. And so if they're told, contract's not getting renewed, then they'll just go find a new one.
Have there been many instances of that Cleon could know about of crew leaving of their own volition?
Yeah, every so often when you, pretty much every time you make port, there's at least a couple that leave and a couple new ones come on. It's usually not a very large amount, except for this last time where he hired on a lot more skilled individuals.
Well, you don't seem very interested in this.
I think it would be in rather poor taste for us to at least not inform the captain that we were considering this.
All right, you want to go talk to the captain? That's fine. Not a bad idea.
Donovan, are you going with him?
Yeah, I'll go with them.
Okay. You hadn't said a whole lot, so I wasn't sure. Did you
Yeah,
want to say anything more, or what the plan was?
I'll go watch and talk to the captain. So long as there's a workshop, I mean, he kind of, yeah, he kept us from becoming food, but he also captured us initially. So I'm not terribly loyal. He's been nice to us after he didn't, get us killed.
Has Rio came back yet? Or have they not been discussing it long enough?
Nah, not yet, because you're pretty much working most of the time. Or,
Is
spending
this
your money.
conversation before or after I know Rio was off?
It was before, or no, during. So Rio's off working doing carpentry because you've passed by her a few times.
I guess before this conversation actually happens, I would say I know where Rio is. Let's.
Oh yeah.
She's
I
working.
couldn't find her.
Yeah, she's. Believe it or not, I believe she's working down at the docks.
Cookie, she has come in with little bits of decent raw materials for dinner.
Wait, she's working?
I know, right?
Yeah, and
what happened?
We didn't tell her she was lazy.
I'm kind of afraid to ask.
Huh.
Yep. Losing your memory will do that to you, right?
It could. Doesn't always.
Nope. Also, having some end goal in mind might also help.
That can. So, Cleok, you're leading them to Rio?
Yeah.
You guys head up the way, you see a few ships being worked on, and one of them you see a carpenter there, and you see Ryu helping out this gentleman who's working on the ship.
Oh, Rio.
Very
See, guys,
enraptured
it's just like I
in
said.
carpentry.
Hey guys, what brings you here?
Oh, we're exploring around. Thought we'd, all have lunch. When do you get off work?
The old guy looks back and is like, never. And he just goes back to work.
Hey, how'd you get Rio to work?
She asked.
Huh. Isn't that odd?
I don't know.
Alright.
It's been a help. My last
Cool.
associate was also an apprentice and got ill, so I've been needing some help, and she came along, helped out.
Rio, how long have you been working here? Like, I mean it's sequential hours.
Well, every few days since we got into port.
Oh, okay. So the man wasn't being literal. Okay. Who knows? I don't know your abilities. Maybe you can work 24 hours a day.
Nah, everyone needs rest once in a while.
That would be an interesting race feature, immune to exhaustion.
I knew a guy who was very touched by, what was it, Primor Element, one of those weird, what do you call it, elementalist people's, fiery dude, and he could work hours, like he didn't rest,
Hmm.
like almost ever.
That's pretty cool.
I guess his dad bought his ma, and she was a slave, and he was a freak or something, freak, I don't know, and yeah.
Hmm. That's weird.
Anyway, if you haven't figured it out, we are friends of Rio here, and we'd like a moment to have a conversation with her.
Man, we can have a water break.
All right.
Wow, guys, what's so important that you came like right away? Are we off on a mission, or is the captain leaving or something?
Oh, well,
Ryu, they
I
interrupted
decided I
your
want-
carpentry class.
well, I decided I wanted to go and, learn how to fly a spaceship, and one man who seemed to be able to teach me kind of, rather than teach me, offered me a job. And that was weird, so I wanted to talk it over with people and see if it was short term, if anyone wanted to come along or something.
Well, I'm all for getting out from under the captain, but I was really hoping we'd have our own ship that we could leave on. That way, we wouldn't be stuck at someone else's whims. So, how do you know this guy's not just gonna feed us to the flesh dealers, or gonna be worse than the current captain?
Yeah, I know nothing, actually. Huh, that's a good point.
Does he have a
I
good
guess
ship? We just upgraded the weapons.
I haven't seen his ship, honestly.
Hmm.
Man, all you think of all these good questions, I'm just like,
You should know a ship needs lots of firepower. I'm not getting on a ship if it doesn't have firepower.
So,
Well, from what
the
I know,
previous ship didn't have firepower, and you were okay with it. But once we upgraded it, You gotta have it, huh?
Well, here's the thing. Out of
I-
character,
I-
Rio has made a personal investment in the armament of the ship, and you're just asking her to walk away from it after spending how much gold?
It was
Yeah.
several hundred or 1,000. But so to answer his questions, I didn't know how underpowered we were. I wouldn't have been on that thing if I'd known it was that weak.
Okay.
You did recoup, all that money too, I'm pretty sure.
Oh yeah, I know.
And that's
Okay.
after the funds were split.
Oh, how much was that again? Because I actually don't think I added it to my character.
I don't
We had-
remember. It was in the chat how much you guys made total for everyone. You guys can
Did
split
you
it how
guys-
you want.
Yeah, you just pasted it all in there, right?
Yeah, I pasted raw. It's all the raw details. You guys split it how you want.
Okay.
You want to keep it all in a group fund? That's fine. If you want to split it all out to everyone, that's fine. You want to keep some of the goods? That's
But
fine.
I guess I could, go up when I'm feeling less lazy.
Okay. So I'm guessing he said it was a smaller ship, so I'm guessing you're not interested.
If it's well armed, it's okay. As long as he's not a bad person.
Well, the captain did say normally I could meet with the navigator, but he wasn't around. Oh, hey, that would mean I get to meet the navigator. You know we have a navigator?
Pilot, not navigator.
Hey, I don't know the right words. Pilot, huh? We have a
Well,
pilot? That's
you
not
knew
the
that it
ship?
wasn't navigator.
Oh, right.
He
I
called
keep
it
mixing
helmsman.
these terms. So maybe if I wait around, I could meet the helmsman. That would be fun. Any of you met the helmsman? Or wait, helmswoman, isn't it? That little fiery redhead said there was another woman on ship.
Yep.
Huh.
By more women. So she could have walked by me, and I just could have assumed it was one of the new crew.
Yep.
Oh, there's quite a few more women on now.
You're the cook. Haven't you been feeding her?
I don't know. It's a little hard to keep track of everybody. Some
I guess
days.
we did just shift, crew members.
Yeah. That's okay. I'm thinking probably not. We'll just hold off for our next mission and stick together that way. I think you might be right. That idea of, actually having firepower in case someone comes at us, good idea. Huh. Ryu's full of good ideas. Cookie's confused.
I can
All right,
hear
well,
that.
Is that something you say out loud?
Hey,
Yes, yes it is.
am I acting out of character?
Since-
I really don't remember.
Since when? First, Cleox trying to decide since when does Cookie speak in third person? The Cookie's cute.
Well, I think you probably noticed me speak in third person before. It's a habit that
Yeah.
John as a person has.
Yeah. Anyway.
Donovan, you feel something warm around your neck. And you look down and there's a set of paws on your left and on your right.
Oh look, Jonathan's friend.
It looks less like a cat than it used to. It still looks feline, but its features seem to not be as distinct.
How does that make sense? What does it look like if it doesn't look like a cat?
It looks like a cat, but it doesn't have all the features. It's like the features are fading. It's almost like you're looking at it through a camera and the camera's losing focus.
Donovan, what's going on with your furry friend?
Is it still warm or is it getting colder?
It's warm.
I don't know where it came from in the first place. I mean,
Oh. Okay.
your guess is as good as mine.
That's cool. Well, at least y'all seem to be getting along.
Does the cat look like sick or ill?
No,
Or
just out of focus.
I cautiously approach Yonovan and reach my talon out.
Just bats at it. Kind of like you'd expect a cat to if you point something at it.
Ow!
No, cats probably don't have actual languages. Not even special magical cats.
I mean, you probably do talk.
So,
Kind of,
You have it.
and after a while, it dissipates and disappears.
are you trying to tell us something? Raise your right
I'm not.
paw for yes, left paw for no.
He said it dissipated.
It
I know.
dissipates as you're asking. It kind of just like fades and disappears.
That's random.
Here, kitty, 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 kitty.
The
I make an
passerby
effort.
looks down at you like, "You looking for your cat or something, sir?" We tend to not keep cats on the docks.
Sorry, I thought I saw one, and
Oh,
I don't know.
all
Well,
right.
one of our companions is a cat person, so.
Oh, okay. Well, good luck with that. I'll see you. Keeps walking.
All right. Well, it's nice chatting with you. I guess I'm gonna go and study spells.
You're gonna find out more about the ship.
Yeah, whenever our own helmsman's available, I think the captain might be able to get me in touch.
Captain kind of made it sound like he'd be indisposed for an indeterminate period of time. He said he's unavailable. Like, it seemed like long-term unavailability.
Oh.
So, serious talk. I've already had discussions with this with Yonovan. But the one thing I do know about the helm is that most of them appear to be like a specialized chair. And I'm willing to bet it's behind the room we haven't been in,
Okay.
that we have never seen anyone go in or out of.
Well, okay. So the captain, thank you for the correction. The captain seemed to say that I couldn't really learn much more from him. And I would have to seek training on my own. And so the first guys I talked to said they use some kind of unique helm They were from that ship you recognized, Cleok.
Yes.
So something strange about that ship in particular. But heck, I don't know what's strange and not strange. I don't even really know what a helm is other than a chair, and you use it to steer the ship
Cleoc,
somehow.
your ears probably would be burning at the fact he just said that he talked to people from that ship that said they have a different style helm than what he can use.
I know. Can you take me to meet these people?
Oh yeah. Well,
I guess I might have actually met them before, but
well, here's the thing, guys. I think I really need to learn how to use a helm because, you know, Ryu, you want your own ship, but someone's gotta drive it, right?
Well, right, but we've got to get our own ship and learn how to drive it and learn how to get where we want to go. We got a lot of learning to do.
Yeah, I think solving driving it might be a good choice.
So, do you trust this new captain you were talking about?
Absolutely not. But I don't know anything but any better. I trust a lot of people.
you don't trust the new guy, but you trust a lot of people.
I don't
That
specifically trust him. I don't distrust him either, is what I'm saying. I'm not necessarily the best judge of character. I think everyone needs to get along and hang in there together.
Rio leans over and says, I think he's a bit too trusting.
you're just now figuring that out.
No, I'm just figuring it out again.
I'm sorry. Yeah, I forgot your amnesia.
Oh, well, in any case, I believe I am torn, but I really want to learn how to drive that ship. And I guess if you guys don't want to come with me, I'll go see if hopefully I'll see you.
I didn't say I wouldn't come, but I still want a little bit more information. But first, I
Yeah.
want to talk to those other guys.
All right, yeah, sure.
Maybe
Follow me.
maybe you can gather information from the other captain while I talk to the. Yeah.
All right.
Okay, you guys head back in. Cleoc, you see some individuals sitting at a table who remind you a lot of the people you learned from. They're sitting there very astutely, kind of just playing a card game, but you can see some subtleties of the way they're doing it that reminds you of your old mentor.
Hey, Cleox, those guys at the table over there, they were the friendly chaps I first talked to. They said their helm wasn't compatible with like mine.
Really? If you'll excuse me.
Yeah, sure.
Do I
Cookie
recognize?
observes them.
Do I recognize the card game?
What card games do you know from the D&D world?
That's totally out of my. That's out of my out of character wheelhouse.
What about your in-character wheelhouse? Like, which ones would Cleoc have actually run across, is what I'm asking. How
Actually,
many?
probably not very many. So that was a silly question. I just go up to them and say, "Hello, gentlemen," or
Greetings.
ladies. I don't know if there's any ladies there.
There's one, but the others are men. Can we help you?
Mind if I ask you a few questions?
Sure.
I can't. This may seem like an odd question, but I can't but help but notice your, was it mannerisms or was it clothing or
More the mannerisms. The clothing is very different, but the way they're holding themselves and the way they're moving reminds you a lot of your mentor.
did I actually put in my backstory like I mean, I know they were Sun Soul monks of Lathander, but um,
You just said Sun Soul Monks. I didn't see any name.
yeah. I gave a Sun Soul, and I think I also gave a deity. Because I see one day a pair of Sun Soul monks of Lathander. Anyway, um, this may seem like an odd question, but you, I believe there's called a groundling. Most very recently, brought up here in the space, and I can't help but notice that um, you remind me a lot of home. Uh, could you? May I ask where you were from?
Yeah, we come from realm space.
I forget if I've actually learned whether realm space is whether I've learned that's the actual term for home. I think I did.
Don't remember that you'd heard that term or not.
I see, and
I remember we were talking about realm space, so I just don't remember if it was out of character or in.
yeah,
You could always mention
That's
it's in Faerun.
yeah. I see. I guess I assume that's a crystal sphere name because realm space wouldn't contain a location called Faerun, would it?
Sure, that's one of the, eastern continents on Aber. Some call it Abertor. We just call it Aber for short.
Really?
Sure. You looking to get back there or something? We have a few
Oh.
cabins available for rent if you're trying to.
Go back?
Sure. A lot of groundlings get uncomfortable in space for too long and want to head home at least for a span.
I take a deep breath and after a slow exhale and say, I will keep that offer in mind, but um, I've kind of taken a liking to being up here. So I
We
was
do too. That's why we fly.
I was a little bit curious as to you may have spoken to one of my companions earlier, asking about you know learning how to fly. And
Yeah,
hell,
I think we remember him.
and I'm curious about that too because so I'm just a little bit curious to know a little bit more about how what's the correct term for ships? Spelljammers?
Yes.
Exactly how they work.
Well, you gotta use a helm, and it channels your power into force to move. Similar to, you can use your key to shove your arm and make a punch. Well, you can do similarly with a ship.
They know I'm a monk.
It would seem.
Excuse me, but I never told you that I was a monk.
We never told you we were either. Your stance and style seems to be a little bit odd, but given that you're from the eastern continent, it explains it.
I must say that I was drawn over by your mannerisms, and that you remind me of my master. My yeah, the ones that first put me down the path of being
The
a
great
monk.
teacher.
Indeed, indeed.
While the style I have chosen is a little bit different than what they have exhibited. I believe they were Sun Soul monks worshiping Lathander.
Ah, yes. We don't do Lathander as he's not our divine, but
It turns out
this
that
bright-eyed one here does similarly.
it turns out that that my path was more of a took more to a liking to weapons, but I will remember their teachings and such fondly. But interesting, you said that the helms take in like the user's power.
Some do. Others are more evil, but most use a form of power. For those of the Jade Emperor's mighty treasure fleets, we tend to use key helms, as most of us are trained in that way. And so we channel our key into the ship and allows it to move.
Wow.
Sujitai there is
That-
the youngest of us, and he's the one that follows the Sun Soul.
That's on the revelation of the helms. That's not quite what I was expecting.
What were you expecting?
I mean, being a groundling, about the only ships I know about, even though as I flex my wings a little bit, don't really have need of them. Most of them, use things like sails or
Well, sails
know,
are for
you know, ex-
turning and, maneuverability, but actual force and thrust, there's no
but
wind.
but
So that's
most
where the
of them,
jammer comes in.
I don't know much about it, but I don't recall hearing about any ships, back on the what was it, Rome space, that
Yes.
they used a the power of a person.
Eons ago, the East had lost that ability. We in the West, we in the Far East tend to still be able to do so, but it seems to be lost to those of you on the continent there. Then again, most of the continents, only the enlightened of the Jade Emperor's Holy Empire seem to still maintain those ways of the spacefaring folk.
I mean, I personally had no idea this existed until I was whisked away up here.
Which is odd. The Emperor doesn't tend to approve of abductions from our planet, so it must have gone without his knowledge.
Yeah, that's a long story. But I believe that has been taken care of. But are you in this port often, or other ships like yours?
Actually, no. We tend to not come this far out. We're actually heading back now with the goods we were sent to acquire, and probably won't be coming back this way for at least a long time, if ever.
Hmm.
There are a few other traders that tend to make those passageways, but we don't.
If you don't mind, could you give me a list of ports or spheres that you do, or at least major ones, in case I wanted to meet more of you? Or meet
You'd
you
have to
again?
go more towards the core, the center. That's where mostly we stick, mainly with the three spheres.
I see. This has been quite enlightening. I really appreciate your time. If there's anything I can
Indeed.
do for you with this knowledge,
If you wanted to gain experience in the way of the helms and head back that way, we're down one pilot. Or helmsman is the more common term.
no man. That's a jerk move. You know that? That's out of character, but
It's it's an option. But yeah, if you ever find yourself in realm space, kern space, or gray space, those are the spheres we tend to trade between, and that's usually where we mainly stay.
I don't have my notes open.
What do you seek in your notes?
To at least write that stuff down.
This
Would be
is
wise.
interesting. When Cookie started observing Cleot going and talking with them, he decided it'd be better just to watch and see what transpires. So witnessing that he gets a chance to go somewhere too, it's like, oh.
You have to make decisions.
That was.
Cookie's gonna go to. I'll let you spend time and think. Cookie's gonna go over to the captain. Is he still around? Maybe he's.
Yes, he's still back there chilling. He just ordered a round of food and seems to just be flicking some cards in the air, and they seem to animate and like float around for him, and just keeps tossing them in the air and messing with them. Just relaxing, playing around, snacking.
That's really neat. How do you make cards fly?
Well, I've trained in doing magic tricks, and I use cards.
Oh, wow. I've trained in a few magic tricks, but mine mostly do really powerful things and kind of chaotically
He's like, all right,
do
well,
things.
draw a card. Pans out the whole deck
Sure.
across the table.
I'll draw a card. Third from the left.
Interesting. So you wish to blow down the inn. That's disturbing. This is a specialized maximized fireball I have. Not be good to set off here.
Wow. You put your spells in card? Oh. That's interesting.
Start shuffling them all back together.
Well, I talked with my friends and they weren't really all that keen on leaving their current situation. But man, I sure would love to learn about a helm.
Well, I still have space. Haven't really picked a destination yet. Or a reason to go there. But hey, that's how we roll.
So Why are you traveling the stars if you don't care about the destination or...
Because the journey is the worthier part. It's how you get there that matters. You catch the glint of a metallic scale behind him move.
Metallic scale? Like on his person behind him or on a wall or what?
Like on his person or on his chair behind him. He did say we.
We?
Ah, yes, my companion. Get up here. You see this little draconic-looking individual, a bit larger than a cat, but about that size, sticks its head out.
Huh. That's pretty cool. They 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 make dragons that size?
Pseudo dragons. They're kind of like dragons, they're just small dragons. Dragons are large beasts. These are smaller draconic creatures.
Nice to meet you.
This is a friend of mine.
Well, I'd very much be interested to tag along with you. How long do you tend to be out from port? Well, what am I saying? Jobs have a varying length, as we found out.
It's more how I feel. I mean, I've gone in space for months. I've taken quick jobs. Don't always come to the same destination. So I happen to come back here every once in a while, but other times the wind carries me across the galaxy to the other side. The region tends to be a lot more populated at the core, but I don't always go there. I prefer more the fringes and more freedom and ability to do what you feel.
So I'm a little bit, well, I'm a lot of bit unfamiliar with what you mean by the core.
It's the
We're,
predominantly most populated spheres.
Huh. And where we are now, is this very populated? Are we
This
at
is the
the
most
core?
populated section of the fringes.
The fringes.
It's slang name, it's not the proper names, but you know.
Yeah.
Hey, you wanna sign on board and join us, or don't really feel like it, or what do you want to do?
I do. I need to go talk with my captain to
Okay.
make sure the contracts are in order.
All right. No idea when I'll be leaving, so if I'm here, I'm here.
Right. Heads back is Kleok. I imagine Kleok is still...
So I've got a couple of questions, and I know
Yes,
one
sir.
of them you already mentioned, but then the other one is new. How long were they planning on sticking around before they left?
The treasure fleet of you talking about? The
Yeah.
guys you're talking to? Not long. They're finishing up right now, and they're going to head off.
Second question. Part of my interest for staying up here is that back on the sphere, not knowing about the place, being a Eric Cocker. the sky feels like our home, and this is a place that's, uh, for lack of a better way to describe it, above the sky.
Yeah?
It seems I haven't even, told the people that were um, that were with me in the same circumstances that I was. But my goal is to uh, provide my home an opportunity to join me up here, explore above the skies like I've had the opportunity. So, at the very least, what I've been doing up here has been
Well, to do something like that, you'd either have to get your own, or you'd have to get the Emperor's permission.
right. I've been working towards potentially getting my own, but as you may have noticed from some of the questions I've been asking, still don't have a lot of knowledge of it. But I have to weigh whether my dream has a better chance here or by coming with you.
Well, both are possible. It's just which calls to you.
Thirdly, as I just mentioned, that there are other people who are in the same circumstances as I was, also um, brought up here against their will.
So,
They may
one of
wish.
the ones at the table you see just totally downs another huge tanker full of liquid. And it's like, another!
They may wish to. I may ask if they wish to join me. There'd be more for
We have a few cabins available. If
5
they want
others.
to seek passage back to there, we'd have to check with the captain, but we're pretty sure we'd be able to get that okayed.
And I bow and I thank them for the information, and that I will return shortly with my answer.
We will be here for a while longer.
I meet up with Kleok when we're clear of that.
And that there was some interesting information, and now I kind of know how you feel. I very
Yeah.
much know how you feel.
Mm-hmm. So, are you telling me that you could fly a ship if you went with those guys? Because that's how I feel.
Let's let us gather the party again.
Okay.
Okay, can you get another water break, Ryu?
I think Rio's going to be mad, but that's okay.
I'm not gonna be mad. It's my my boss that's gonna be mad.
Hey, those treasure fleet, have big ships, right?
Oh yeah, they have some of the biggest ships. It is getting closer to evening, so if you wait a while longer, Ryu should be off.
Just whenever we can get Ryu, as long as, I do want to keep tabs on that ship and make sure they're not leaving in the middle of the night.
Okay. You guys are getting to the dark part of the cycle, so they tend to not work during that since it costs a lot more to be able to. So that's usually when they finish up and sleep and eat and refresh. So you guys wait a little while,
Rio.
and Rio, you're able to get off and you start heading back, you see at one of the taverns, unless you guys choose to be elsewhere, Cleok and Cookie. You see Cleok and Cookie, and I'm not sure if Yonovan stayed with him at one of the taverns as you head back towards the ship.
We'd pull Yonovan. I'd pull Yonovan because
Tavern, come on.
I'd want Yonovan to hear this.
I don't know if you're waiting on the ship for him, or if you're waiting at the tavern, or what.
I think we talk at the tavern, but
I think if we knew reasonably,
you know that
might
Rio
have-
would probably have to walk past you guys to get back to the ship, unless she takes a very odd route.
then yeah, we could wait at a point we knew Rio would have to come.
In Yonovan?
I'll take a water break.
Alright. So, eventually Rio comes in, people are starting to pour in and order dinner, and the place starts picking up, getting a little bit more busy, energy.
Hey,
and
Rio.
you find yourselves there.
So,
So?
yeah,
so I found out some information about flying a ship and what helms are. Helms are a device that take in a person's power or abilities in order to be able to fly the ship. In a case
Wait.
of,
that's what they do?
as it was described to me,
You both have one rank towards getting proficiency in Spelljammer.
Oh, I bet my spellcasting ability is used, and your monk's ability.
So,
Hmm.
so the way it was described to me from the group that was associated with the treasure fleet is that the helms are built for a specific type of power. So the ones in the treasure fleet are built more to you, or at least the ship or associated with the people I was talking to was built for using a monk's key to power the ship. They mentioned that other ships, other helms would use other special power. I would assume spellcasting ability. That would probably explain why. I think you mentioned to me earlier that they said that their helm wouldn't work with you. Is that correct?
Yeah.
That would explain why they said that their helm wouldn't specifically work with you.
Ah.
So I wouldn't be able to fly the ship that you're talking about flying, and I don't know what kind of helm is on the ship we're currently on.
But presumably,
They did mention that there were a couple of like evil helms, but I haven't seen any of those, and I'm not sure if
unless whatever was on that monster ship thing that attacked us was an evil helm. It was powered by something that was not exactly alive.
You said that it had a corpse sitting in a chair, and that the ghost seemed like it was tortured. My evil sense is going off.
It didn't seem tortured. It seemed relieved when we released it.
Hmm.
Wait, that means it was tortured.
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Either way, I'm kind of in the same boat the Cookie is. No pun intended. I have the opportunity.
Is your ship well armed?
I would assume that as large as the treasure fleet ships have been described to us, I would say it's very likely to be pretty well armed.
Oh, okay. I'm cool with that.
Of course, that's just me speaking. That wasn't necessarily me saying that. Anyway, I have very much the same opportunity that the Cookie has given. Other than this particular instance, they would be journeying to what they called the core spheres. They mentioned 3 locations. They work primarily in realm space, kern space, and gray space, in which Cookie, I know that it was confirmed to me that Faerun, where we come from, is part of realm space.
Oh, realm space. Okay.
And apparently part of the core spheres.
Oh,
Either
so
way,
we are in the core spheres?
I don't think so. They mentioned that this was well out of the way for them and that they only primarily functioned in the core spheres.
Ah, so not in the core.
So I didn't ask them, but based on that conversation, I'd have to believe that we're not within the core spheres. So I'm not sure exactly what place we are. Anyway, they told me I would have the opportunity to go with them and even help pilot the helm, since they
Ah,
said they were short one. And there's the opportunity for not only myself to go, but I asked and they said that it would be likely that you all could join me if you wish. But I need an answer soon, or I need to give them an answer soon, because they will be leaving very soon, and that particular group, or even company, will be unlikely to come back. I'd have to find another way back to realm space, even though with the amount of money that's gained, I'm sure it wouldn't be too difficult to purchase a journey there.
that's
We just
pretty.
we just put a job out on the board. I'd get an exclamation point above my head, and somebody would come by and say, "Hey, posted a bill? Hey, let me
Basically.
take." Sorry.
Well, and I can't really get much out of the ship he's talking about because I guess they have different incompatible helm types. So, I think Ryu, you're right. The ship's probably not all that well defended. But dang it, I'd like to try something new, and I'd like to learn how to pilot a ship. I hope we're not parted forever, though. Be fun to be back together.
I haven't told you all this, but I have a reason, or another reason for wanting to get my own ship.
Oh,
You see, even though the circumstances for us being up were not in our control, it's quite exhilarating, fascinating for someone like me, and I flex my wings a little bit, to have a chance to explore beyond the sky.
Excuse me, but I've got a question. Oh, well, so out of character. How much of the stuff from you guys RPing earlier, talking to the captains, did you share with us before we had this discussion? Like, John, did Cookie explain that this guy is, the captain is very free, he just goes where he feels like it, it's all about the journey and not the destination?
let's see, what would Cookie talk about? Well, yeah, he would definitely have to. Okay, so that's something I more learned recently. Yeah, it, the second time I went back to him. So I haven't yet gotten to me. Because I was going to, relatively speaking, Cleoc learned a lot more than I did this time around. But I mentioned is like, well, the captain that I think I might need to go with, he hasn't picked a destination. He just sort of does whatever he wants. I really asked him what that was about, and he says the journey is more important.
Well, so I know nothing about this treasure fleet and stuff, but it sounds like pirates might attack them. Do they ever hire other ships to escort them? Maybe your Cookie, your captain, would just be able to escort the treasure fleet, and then we could go to the core systems. Core spheres, sorry.
That's a really clever way to keep us together.
Well, you said your captain doesn't care where he goes. Maybe? Because I have a feeling that your captain has a ship that I could pilot, whereas I'm pretty sure I couldn't pilot the treasure fleet ship that Cleoc has told us about.
Wait. You could pilot?
You said it requires, like, special magical energy, right? I have some of that.
You have magical energy?
Well,
Do I know this?
You've certainly seen him, cast Eldritch Blast and
right,
stuff
Eldritch
like that.
Blast. He's been inconsistent, so I never can keep track of what he has and hasn't done. I think of Talon as all magic, but I forgot that Ryu also blasts.
You've also probably seen your blade block, right?
Yeah.
Because I think you've in the combat with the skeleton, you summoned your sword basically, or your weapon out of basically thin air, and hex something. And
yes, I did.
And you've also
Hexblade,
cast
blade block.
Shatter, I think. It may have been Hexblade, but I think you've also cast. It was some AOE ability.
I summoned the Arms of Hador.
Oh yeah.
That's a standard warlock spell. Great AOE, except it centers on you and hurts allies.
Welcome to most AOE.
Most AOE doesn't center on you.
So technically, everyone in the group has some form of magic. Cleoc has Ki, Ryu has patron magic, Yonovan has arcane magic, and Cookie, of course, is an arcane caster. Which you guys have seen. Yonovan cast Mend and a few other things, so you would know he has some. And of course, like you said, Talon does as well.
By the way, specifically since Nate listed a dragon ship. A dragon ship has a standard armament of 2 medium ballistas and can carry 2 large weapons. The galleon that we're on now has basically 500, or not 500, 50 fewer hit points, but can carry 1 medium weapon and 2 large weapons, but is basically otherwise probably a little bit better ship, can carry just a little bit less crew, and the dragon ship isn't as maneuverable, but it does have a higher armor class and more hit points. So all in all, they're probably pretty equal in combat. All things considered. Is that slow clap?
So, gentlemen,
Okay. So the dream, my dream. I did tell the party my dream, right? Did I finish that?
They heard, and you kind of told them. You were going to tell them. You started to tell them.
I want to give, the people back home, my people back home, the ability to travel across above the sky like I have. And this would be the best opportunity that I've seen to potentially move forward with that goal. Although I haven't forgotten the fact that our missions currently up here with our current captain have been quite lucrative, and anything we do is going to cost money. But I need to give them an answer soon, and I haven't decided yet, although I am leaning towards joining them. But they are leaving soon, so.
So, you guys want to make your decision this week, or do we need to break and let you guys think on it and come back next week?
I think something like this is pretty significant. We should break.
All right.
You say that, but what is this going to do about next week?
Well, I'm hoping you all will have your decision at the start of next week, so we can pick up there and move with what your choices are.
We'll start with a discussion on our faults.
Yeah, I was going to say, let's use Discord here, and we can type up discussion, or if we need to, we can call a impromptu meeting to hop on and chat.
Because, the whole thing is that if we all split up, then it could be that we take one of the characters and everyone, or the ones that remain. I don't know if Yonovan and Rito or Shadow would go with Kleok and or Cookie. But then potentially those that have split off away from the majority would it would be almost a character creation session.
Yeah. So here's a question. Can we find out before next session if it's possible that both ships could go together to the same destination? Or at least close?
You'd have to talk to the captain and find out.
The captains?
Because both out of character and in character, Rio's much more likely to go with Cookie if A, knows that Kleok is going, and B, that there's another ship so that nothing bad will happen to us in the middle of nowhere.
Cookie.
Well, it seems to me that we might try to find some kind of mission that would be big enough for more than one ship to pursue.
Well, here's the thing.
It seems like the treasure ship already has a objective that they're going.
The treasure ship is I don't know if I conveyed this well, but they did tell me that they are out here to pick something up and will be returning and not likely to come back. So the mission actually is to be out here, and they're about to be done with what they're doing out here.
I see. Yeah, then maybe I'll try to brainstorm something. We can talk about it over the week. Okay?
Still a question.
What?
What level would we start at? So I can roll up a new character in the sense that it's probably likely that at the very least Kleok is going to be leaving the party. Because at least one of the members is going with Cookie.
I'm only going with Cookie if he's going with you, or with the treasure ship.
So that's why
That's-
you're asking Cookie if he would go back to the captain and ask him if he's willing to join
Right.
the treasure ship.
The only reason he would be on Cookie's ship, or she, sorry, would be on Cookie's ship is because that's the one that she could actually learn to pilot.
Yeah, that's not a very convincing argument. We'll have to come
Well-
up with something convincing.
Otherwise, Rio will be going with Cleok.
Okay. Let's break, and I'll see if we can come up with anything. Okay.
Alright, then we'll call it there. We'll see you guys next week as you delve into the dilemma of choices.
Yeah.
The DM purposefully
Alright,
breaking
bye.
up the party.